Welcome to Imperfect in an Uncertain World, resources for living with authenticity and purpose. The world's scary, but you know what's the scariest? I think our imperfections are some of the scariest parts of this scary world. So, how do we learn to shift from living with imperfections to thriving through imperfections? What's key to navigating the world? Let's name it and reframe it. Let's talk. Now, the world is this wild, wonderful, gentle, ferocious place. Yeah, it's a place of contradictions, both external and internal. Do you feel the internal contradictions simmering? Do you feel them boiling, edging closer and closer to the rim of your being? Maybe they slip over the edge and splash into the contradictions of the world. And when that stuff boils over, it sculls away the veneer of illusion, revealing a truth that really cannot be denied. And I'm not sure that this is a truth we want or even expect. This truth really sheds light on our imperfections. And I know imperfections isn't a pretty word. It's one that we like to hide away from. So let's start by answering the question, what is an imperfection anyway? I'm going to give you two definitions. An imperfection is an undesirable feature. An imperfection is the state of not being complete. But what if we expanded these definitions? Instead of seeing an imperfection as an undesirable, what if we viewed it as part of the roadmap that leads us deeper into who we are? So an imperfection isn't something that makes us incomplete. No, an imperfection is a tool that leads us to our authentic self. It's what makes us whole. Now, I don't know about you, but I've committed to stop running from my imperfections. There's no escaping them. Sometimes I think that they're going to trip me and I'm going to fall in the mud. And you know what? I'd rather be standing upright when I meet them. I like to believe that each of us and each imperfection that I uncover really serves a purpose in my life. I believe that when we name and reframe our imperfections, we live into who we are and better understand the world, the people, and the situations around us. Now, to sum it up, we become more compassionate to ourselves and others. Okay, so let's go back to the world, and it's filled with contradictions. We are in this world, so we too are filled with contradictions. I see these contradictions as imperfections. So I named it, my imperfections are contradictions. I reframed it to calling a contradiction an imperfection. So you name it, you named a contradiction, you reframed it to an imperfection. So how do we use the energy of our imperfections to shine the beauty of our soul? So we're going to go a step further. We're going to go deeper into naming and reframing. So we've named an imperfection. So I want you to think about something that is you consider not perfect about you. Just name one thing that you don't do perfect. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is, just name it. Then dig into the imperfections. What are the perceived limitations of the imperfection, and what are the benefits? So what I'm going to have you do is grab a sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle of it. You can make it squiggly, you can make it straight. I want you to put a plus in one side and a minus in another. And then set a timer for 5 minutes and just write. Don't think about it. Create a list of what comes to you. What are the limitations of your imperfection and what are the benefits of your imperfection? There's time for reflection later. Just do it. Okay, so after the 5 minutes have passed, take a look at what you wrote. Find the real truth behind each limitation. And by that, I mean, is it really a limitation or is there a benefit in it? It's something you just keep getting caught up in. I had someone tell me that I work at the speed of light. I want everything done immediately. And that's not how most people work. Well, um, what I have to do is realize that I work to that speed, others do not. But that's my response to the way other people work is the limitation. But man, that's not a limitation for me because I like to dig in and get things done. So, how is that limitation asking you to shift your behavior? And if you take a look at me, what I would say is that behavior is asking me to not expect so much out of other people and to be a little more patient in they're not getting things to me as quickly as I would like. So acknowledge the benefits of the imperfection. And I just did that with that I work at the speed of light. Then ask, is there another way to get these results other than reacting from the imperfections? And again, what I said was is that it's I have to have a more laid back approach when people aren't getting things to me as quickly as I'd like. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't miss deadlines. It means that I work to my speed and encourage other people to work to their speeds in ways that meet deadlines. So, name how to get the results you want by reframing your reactions into responses. And that's just a cute little 5, 7, 10-minute way to work through. So I have to go back and say the world really is a scary place. And I think that our imperfections are some of the scariest. But it is what lies at the root of our so-called imperfections that force our reactions. It's what I would say to myself, it's what gets me into trouble. So how can we shift from living with perfections to thriving through perfections? And that means for me not running away, taking charge. It's about being in the moment and staying in the moment, no matter how difficult naming and reframing your imperfection is. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wrote a book. We're all imperfect in this uncertain world. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. I want to encourage you to really be your best every day. If you're finding you're kind of getting stuck, you need a little help. I'd love, as a contemplative coach, I would love to help you develop strategies and to become more responsive, more contemplative in this crazy, uncertain world. There are additional resources under Let's Practice at vanessafhurst.com. But no matter what you do today, I want you to begin to reframe your imperfections into chief navigators in your life. Thank you and have a terrific day. Namaste.